So, as a coach, mentor, consultant, one of the things that I'm always working on with my clients, and truthfully for myself as well in my own business, and what people are always asking me is, well, what do I need to do? Right? What do I need to do? Because I work with people who are striving toward achieving all sorts of goals, and achieving goals require effort, right? And efforts require all sorts of decisions to know what you need to do. And sometimes the biggest decision is, what does that goal even need to be, right? What do we even want to be doing? I talk to people a lot about that. Like, what do you actually want? What do you want? And I do work with a lot of ambitious people, a lot of driven people, and a lot of those goals and efforts that we're working on live at what I call their growth edge, if you've ever heard that phrase before. It's this expansive, bold, exciting growth edge. Like, let's try to do something we haven't done before. And here's the thing, like, your growth edge is unique to you. What might be easy peasy for one person could be somebody else's growth edge. So not everything has to be crazy over the top. It just has to be bold for you. And figuring out, what do I need to do? What do I do? Right? And where should I focus? What do I do? Where should I focus? It sounds really simple, but it really is a big question. What do I do? Do I write a book? Do I have an event, right? If you're trying to build your business, do I start a podcast? Do I hire team members to take over on these things? Do I get booked to speak? Do I change my market? Do I change my business? Do I change my logo? What do I need to do? What do I need to do next in order to achieve the thing that I want? What do I do? Someone once told me, this sticks with me, and this was years ago. Someone once told me they were considering working with me. And they told me they decided they didn't want to work with a coach because they didn't want somebody to tell them what to do. I'm like, okay, fair. And all I kept thinking at the time was, oh my God, all I want sometimes is someone to tell me what to do. All I want is for someone who already knows how to do the thing to show me and tell me how to do the thing, right? It's so stressful, right? These decisions can be so stressful. So your expansive growth edge is unique to you. But I'm going to assume that if you're even here with me, if you've gotten this far in this video, if you've watched any of the things that I do, there's something in you, there's some version of something in you of wanting more of something, because that's just who I connect with, right? It's not up to anybody to judge what that more is for you. But let's just assume that you're here and you're listening because you want a certain level of more. A certain level of more. You have a certain level of drive. It's unique to you. But how do you make sure? How do you make sure when you're trying to decide what to do that the decisions you're making are inspired action, growth edge decisions, and not manic, reactive, spiraling decisions? I'll repeat that because they really do feel differently. So a lot of times the answer to what do I do isn't so much in your head as it's in like the overall feeling of your response to the question, right? We're trying to discern between what's an inspired growth edge action decision for you, unique to you, and what is a scarcity-based there's reaction that just keeps you spinning your wheels, right? It just keeps you stuck, feeling like that hamster where there's all this activity, but you're not actually getting anywhere. How do you know? Because both of those things can seem scary. Both of those things have a certain level of fear around them, but the fear feels different. The fear feels really different for each of those things. The expansive growth edge inspired action type of fear comes from a place of unknown. It comes from a place of bigger. It comes from a place of, oh my God, what would happen? Is that really possible? Right? The manic reaction fear comes from a place of scarcity and holding on too tight and worry. I put it this way, if this helps. Everything after the spark is a lie. Everything after the spark, the new idea, the bold next steps, those are inspired actions even when they're scary. Even when they're scary, those are inspired actions. You might not even know why the next right step is the next right step, but you can just feel it. Oh my God, could this really be possible? That type of excitement, that type of fear. That fear is fine. But everything that comes after that thought is a lie. They're always why you can't do it. Everything that comes after that inspired spark is about why you can't do it and why it won't work and why. That why is fear-based. It's someone else's criticisms. It's somebody else's voice in your head. So how do you feel? How do you feel? Like, you can kind of even feel my energy, the difference in my energy when I talk about these two different types of decisions. How do they feel for you when you make these types of decisions? Like, for me, the inspired growth edge is a vibration in my chest. It's a full-on vibration. Like, it can feel like anxiety. It really can. It can feel like anxiety, but it has this adjoining, oh my gosh, attached to it. Like oh my God, could that even be a thing? Is that possible? So there might be some fear and anxiety around it, but it's coming from a holy buckets. Could we really do that? Reaction mode, scarcity reaction mode is in my head. That's a spiral, right? That's like a mind racing feeling. It feels like scarcity. It feels like limits. I think that's a really big difference. It feels like stay small, stay safe. It feels like settling for less. It feels like settling. So think about that for yourself and pay attention. Pay attention to how those two things feel. What is something that's somewhat inspiring for you that you would want to do? What is something, like, think of it right now. Use your imagination and pretend that you're doing it. How does it feel? Does it feel inspired? Does it feel expansive? Does it feel, okay, scary, but scary because we haven't done it yet, not scary because of limits? Right? Does it feel inspired? Or does it feel like something you would be choosing to do in reaction to something else? Because you need the money. Because you've done it before, so you know it's easy. Because it's the easier route. Because someone else would approve of you doing it. Right? That could be a really big difference. The inspired action could be, oh my God, everyone's going to think I'm nuts. The scarcity reaction is people will still be okay with me. Not saying that's for every decision, but certainly for a fair amount of us, right? Those are reactions, not inspirations, right? That's what we're trying to discern between. How does an inspiration feel for you versus how does a reaction feel for you? Learning to tell the difference between an inspired next step and a reactive limiting step can be the key to whether you get just a little bit more of what you have, right? A little bit more of what you're already getting, or truthfully, it all kind of falling apart, or finally getting the more, whatever that means to you, finally getting the more that you've been wanting.